Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to lighten up the mood a bit because the last few videos that I've done have been pretty intense. So I decided to look at synastry, which is always a very interesting topic in my opinion, and what we can learn from these charts. So I wanted to look at two couples, Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry, which just recently announced that they were separating, and then Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shay Smith that have been married forever and they seem to be in love, right? So, which is always good when you have, when you're together with somebody. So, let me share the screen and we will start with Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry. Ah, okay. So, this is Orlando Bloom. He is the only one that I've been able to find that Astro.com had a birth time. Katy Perry, there is no birth time. So what we do is we look at each chart separately. So he is a Capricorn sun at 23 degrees, and he is an Aquarius rising at 21 degrees. 23 degrees is the degree of Aquarius and 21 degrees is the degree of Sagittarius. So, and the sun is in the 12th house. Now, he has Venus in Pisces at 9 degrees. Mars is in Capricorn at 9 degrees, and Mercury at 8 degrees. So, let me see. The moon is in Scorpio at 0 degrees. So, um, I'm not going to talk about, their personal charts in per se, but I did want to like touch on some things, right? You can see that the MC is in Sagittarius, and then Neptune is conjunct the MC, Neptune to make movies, foreign, um in foreign countries, and Sag also rules something related to the industry, the film industry as well, but it's mostly Pisces. Now, so his career is all about movies, obviously. He has Venus in Pisces, which is exalted. He has Mars in Capricorn, which is also exalted. He has in old, what do you call it, Hellenistic astrology, he has Saturn in fall because it's in Leo, but a and the old ruler of Aquarius is Saturn. But for the degree theory purposes, the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, which is in the 8th house. Now, with the moon in Scorpio, his emotions can run very, very deep. There could be a lot of emotional wounds, or it can talk about his mother. And we will leave it at that. Okay. Now, Katy Perry. Katy Perry. Oh, before I move on to Katy Perry. So Orlando Bloom was born on January 13th, 1977 at 9:15 a.m. in Canterbury, England. All right. So he is 48 years old. And then we see here Katy Perry. I don't have a birth time for her, but she was born October 25th, 1984. And when we don't have a birth time, we just choose noon. So the aspects of a chart will not change. However, the houses will, but we don't have any houses here. So for her, she has a stellium of planets. A stellium is I like to say 4 planets in a sign, but we could do 3 with outer signs. If you have a stellium that is the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, you don't have a stellium because those Mercury and Venus run very close to the Sun a lot of times. So it would have to be with Jupiter or Saturn or Uranus, Neptune or Pluto, and that's a proper stellium. So she has 5 planets in Scorpio. So you are talking, and she has a Sun-Pluto conjunction. So this this lady, because she's not young anymore, she's 40 years old, um, is very intense. And she has the moon in Scorpio, Saturn in Scorpio, a Mercury in Scorpio, and I mean, she just has a lot of Scorpio energy. So, and she has Mars in Capricorn, which is exalted. So that is good. Let me see. Does she have any other planets? The moon is in detriment, just like Orlando Bloom in Scorpio. So she doesn't have a lot of she only has Mars in Capricorn as exalted. That's it. So then we do their chart, and this is the synastry. Orlando Bloom is on the inside, and she is on the outside. Okay. This circle here doesn't have any lines like Orlando Bloom's because we do not have a birth time. But you can see where her planets fall in his birth chart, and that can give you indications of how the relationship is and what to look for. So I like to use this chart over here, even though visually you can see that she has a ton of planets in his 8th house. So this is a very deep relationship. This is a very sexual relationship. There's a lot of intimacy. With this Sun Pluto a conjunction to his moon, there could be, a very deep emotional connection or very deep emotional wounds that maybe both of them are working through. So, because remember, the moon is your emotions, but it also talks about your mother. So maybe they have something in common with their mothers that they can, help each other out. So when we look at synastry, Orlando Bloom is the one in blue, and Katy Perry is the one in red. So I took notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. His Jupiter, 21 degrees of Taurus, is opposing her Saturn at 17 degrees of Scorpio. So this is this is a very interesting aspect because it talks about manifestation, right? But realizing something together, maybe it's because they had a child together. By the way, I do not follow any movie stars' lives. I don't follow any politician's life. That's, you know, I'm not into any, I know who Orlando Bloom is. He was part of the Lord of the Rings, but that's about it because I didn't even see those movies. They're just like way too long. Orlando has Saturn in Leo, which has a wide trine to her Venus in Sagittarius. Leo is a fire sign, Sagittarius is a fire sign. It has a wide trine because it's 9 degrees, but Saturn is the glue that holds the relationship together. Now, Orlando's moon is at 0 degrees of Scorpio, which I mentioned that her sun is at 2 degrees and her Pluto is at 2 degrees. So this is a fated relationship because Pluto is involved. All right. Now, fated relationships doesn't mean forever, right? It just means that it had to happen. Maybe to have a child together, or maybe because of career possibilities or something like that. This person was meant to be in your life for a period of time. Now, Orlando's Mars is sextiling. Um, Katy Perry's a Saturn. So again, and then Orlando's North Node is 29 degrees of Libra, is conjunct Pluto. It's an out of sign conjunction to Katy Perry's Sun at 2 degrees and Katy Perry's Pluto at 2 degrees. So even though they have not said, they just said that they decided to split, but they didn't say, or I briefly tried to figure out, like to read, like who decided to leave the relationship. Even though Orlando Bloom has Pisces in Venus, which is exalted, so he is very dreamy about romance. He's very dreamy about love. It could also obviously mean that he makes money from films, right? From movies, Pisces. But even though he has this, I think that it was him that wanted out, because Katy Perry's intense. With all those planets in Scorpio, maybe it's a little bit too much for, Capricorn at 23 degrees, and he's an Aquarius rising, so he might want to be a little bit more free. And Scorpios, I mean, they either love you or they hate you. So they said that they were going to be amicable and things. Yeah, they it seems to be friendly, which I hope it continues to be for the child's sake. Um, but definitely this was a very passionate, sexual relationship. And like I said, it's fated. So you can see here the Sun, Pluto conjunct his North Node and his Moon. So this was meant to happen. And like I said before, fated doesn't mean forever. So the next relationship that I want to talk about is Pierce Brosnan. Brosnan. Um, he was actually one of my favorite actors when I was young. He's a very nice looking man. Um, he was born May 16th, 1953. I can't pronounce this city, so I won't, in Ireland. I don't have the birth time, so that's why we always choose a natural chart. But if you don't have the birth time, that does not change the aspects of the planets. Okay, the only thing that changes are the houses. But he is a Taurus sun at the degree of Aries. He has the moon in Cancer at the degree of Virgo. He has a trine between Venus and Pluto. So Venus in Aries and Pluto in Leo. So this man can love very deeply and be very committed um, to his spouse or to his partner. He has, like I said, Venus in Aries at the degree of Leo. Mars is in Gemini at the degree of Capricorn. And he has a Saturn Neptune conjunction in Libra. Um, and it's an exact conjunction because it's only 2 minutes apart, right? And they're both retrograde. So it's interesting, even though I don't know what house this would fall in, but having these retrograde in the sign of Libra, chances are you would marry again, right? because retrograde means to do again in the degree theory. Now, his first spouse died of cancer, and he stuck with her. I mean, he was a exemplary husband. He stuck with her through everything, and then she passed away. But he met this lady, Keely Shay Smith. She was born September 25th, 1963. I don't know the birth time. I could not find it on astro.com or on Wikipedia or anywhere else. So, and she's 62. So there's a 10-year difference, but she I mean, she's still a very pretty lady, but when she was young, she was absolutely gorgeous. Um, and then you can see that she has the sun in Libra, Venus in Libra at the degree of Sagittarius. I think the sun, even though it says 1 degree 59 minutes, it could be the sun at 2 degrees because she's gained a lot of weight um, as she got older. I mean, most women do after menopause, right? We all gain weight. We're not the size 6 that we used to be when we were young. So, but I think she's a 2 degree sun. That is my feeling because based on the time that you're born, the sun can change just a little bit, right? It's 1 day, 1 degree per each day, and also the moon can change. So to me, she has the moon in Sagittarius at 29 degrees, but I think that her moon is actually in Capricorn. Why? Because his moon is in Cancer. And so the moons are in opposite signs, and that is a good thing, right? Both Cancer and Capricorn are very family oriented, as far as tradition, the taking care of the family and that type of thing, right? So, all right. So when I looked at the combined chart, the synastry. Now remember, Pierce Brosnan is on the inside and Keely is on the outside. Let me see here, right? So, I mean, I automatically went to this Jupiter-Venus conjunction. So they are basically, this is one of the best aspects you can have in synastry. I mean, they have other things as well, right? But so excuse me. Now, for them, I think this right here, the Jupiter and Venus, I mean, we're done. It's a wonderful thing. And then the moon, uh, like I said, to me, her moon is actually in Capricorn. Um, and his moon is in at 6 degree of Cancer. Now, his Saturn is in Libra, which is opposing her Jupiter, but it is by sign. Her Venus is also in Libra. So her Saturn is in Aquarius at 17 degrees. So his Saturn is in Libra, which would be a trine between both Saturns. So there is affinity, right? It trines. It's a smooth relationship, right? And like I said, Saturn in Libra, her sun is at 1 degree in Libra, but it's at least a sign. We're in the same sign. Now, his sun is in Taurus at 25 degrees, which um, is in opposition to her Mercury. So the communication there, we need to work on it, but I'm sure like any couple, any marriage, any partnership, any relationship, to me, the basis is communication. The sex will hold it together for a little while, but if you can't understand each other on an emotional basis or whatever, the longevity is seriously threatening, right? Threatened, I should say. So, I just thought that this would be a nice couple to look at. And when I saw the Jupiter Venus conjunction, I was like, yep, that's it. We're done. But he has Saturn and Neptune in Libra, and she has the Moon and Venus in Libra as well. So all of them in the same sign. And I can't really say much more because I don't even have his birth time. So, this one is very limited to what I can say, but Jupiter Venus wins the deal. Now, I did want to try to look at another person that I was curious, Jim Caviezel, but I couldn't find any information on his wife, Carrie Browett, other than the day she was born and the time, but they've been together for forever. So that might be, a relationship or a chart that you guys might want to do on your own time. But they've been together forever. And another thing that I wanted to say is that when you have the sun or the moon in Libra, or the ascendant in Libra, your focus in life is to get married, to have a relationship, to be in partnership. So that's another thing you guys should look at if you want to, find out how your chart and another person's chart are going to go together. That's another consideration. If the person is a Libra, they will do everything in their power to stay in the relationship. So, anyway, this is what I have for you this week. I hope that you guys learned something from this video. Um, Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you've learned something about Synastry. And send it to somebody else if you think that they might also learn something from Synastry. And as always, thank you for watching. If you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.